Welcome to the Connected Families Podcast. I'm so glad that you tuned in. I'm Stacy Bellward, and it's the time of year when we open up our foundational online course to a new cohort of parents. The course is called Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart. We only open it up 2 times a year. You know, all of our online courses, such as Sibling Conflict or The Power of Questions, they're available to start all year round. But for the Discipline That Connects course, there's a lot built in that just works better as a closed cohort. So today, I am interviewing a mom of 2 little girls who took the online course last year. We had a fun, candid conversation about parenting. Before I get to that interview, I want to invite Jim Jackson to the microphone. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Stacy.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I want to add to the notion of this cohort
Yeah.
that you are that cohort's primary moderator. So people get to interact and engage with you a little bit here and there along the way, right?
Yep, it's true. I'm the online course moderator.
Yeah.
That's what you hired me to do
Yeah.
5 years ago,
Well,
wasn't
and,
it?
and that's not the only thing you do anymore.
No, but I still love it. We have a great cohort, a group of people. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're working through our
Yeah.
material and our own things and helping each other out.
The Together online learning experience has proven to be so powerful for
Yeah.
parents to hear from each other, to see what each other is wrestling with as people type answers and do homework and come back and report, to each other. And we hear from lots and lots of parents that dynamic is really what motivates them, encourages them, helps them to see that other parents are struggling the same struggle, but also learning the same cool lessons and experiencing some new hope and some new encouragement for parenting.
For sure, that's right. I think that our course is different because of that cohort compared to a lot of other courses. But then what you said, the material is our framework.
Yeah.
It's the biblical framework that we teach people in
Yep.
the Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart course. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
What do you think sets the course apart from other online courses, maybe within that framework? What's different about it besides the cohort like we just mentioned?
Yeah, I think, one of the things we say often is that we have this refrigerator magnet that sort of depicts the learning in the course. And when you're done with this course, I don't remember exactly where you can say how or if people get magnets or get a picture of this framework.
They get it in their welcome packet.
So you get a magnet, and we affectionately say the magnet says it all.
Yeah.
Once you've learned the principles behind it, you look at that magnet, and it really is. We've built this course to be deep, but at the same time, immediately actionable and memorable to put into practice.
100%. I love that.
Yep.
That's really good. Well, today's podcast is one of 3 where I've gotten to interview 3 different families that have gone through the Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart course. And it's just been so, even just life-giving for me to listen to the change that has happened in their lives.
Yeah, well, even and Lynn and I, after all these years, we heard a story this morning. I'm looking forward to hearing from Rebecca, but we hear these stories and we get encouraged. We get chicken skin or goosebumps or whatever you call it where
Yes.
you are. And then we get motivated to keep doing what we do because so many parents are benefiting.
Well, Rebecca and I had a great conversation. We laughed a lot. We talked really candidly also about one of the things that the course hits on, and that is toxic beliefs.
Yeah, toxic beliefs.
Toxic beliefs about ourselves and our kids. And we got real about that.
Wow.
She named hers, and I named
Oh,
mine.
so tune in and hear Stacy's toxic belief today.
That's right. Let me just ask you a question, though. Why is
Yeah.
it so important to identify our toxic beliefs and replace
Yeah.
them with grace-filled truth?
Yeah, so a toxic belief is this sort of tape that plays in our head over and over, and we hear a voice. Maybe it's a voice from our parents in the past. If you want to measure up, you need to do this just right. Or if you don't take care of this, you're going to be a failure. Or, we've got these tapes that play and we act out of them. And sometimes they're even, like Lynn talks about, a loop tape that she played that was kind of true and kind of not. So she had to go to the Lord and identify what's the part of that isn't true, that part that speaks toxicity to my relationship with my son, even my relationship with God. And how do I take this toxic belief, which in her case was, I'm an angry mom raising an angry child, and when he gets to be a teenager, it's going to be horrible. Well, that's not a helpful thought. It motivates parents to do something. It motivates them out of fear, and then what they do out of fear compels them to do things they probably wish they hadn't done in the first place. And sadly, sometimes what those parents do out of fear motivates their child in the short term to do what they are supposed to do, but in the long term, it just reinforces these toxic beliefs. So I got to identify it, I got to name it, I got to take my thoughts captive to Christ's obedience. Lord, is that a truth that you would have me believe and speak to my son, about myself, or not? No, the answer is no. So then what? Then into a process of saying, well, okay, if he's angry and I'm angry, how do I name a belief that's going to help me out of that? Lynn's work was, I'm an angry mom, he's an angry child. No, I get angry, he gets angry, we butt heads, but we love each other.
Yeah, say that again. I get angry,
he gets angry, we butt heads, but God loves us.
Amen. Yeah. And what a shift that was. And let me tell you, Rebecca named hers. I then asked her what were her biggest takeaways from the course and how have they affected her life? Like, how is her life really different? And the answer to that question, I can't wait till you all hear it because it comes right out of that work of finding grace-filled truth to replace those toxic thoughts.
Yeah, and she gives an answer we hear from parents frequently who go through this course.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Okay. Hey, Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us on the Connected Families podcast. I'm thrilled that you're here today.
Thrilled too, and also a little nervous.
You'll do great. As you know, I have interviewed a couple of other families too, but you're all people who have gone through the Discipline That Connects with Your Child's online course that we run just 2 times a year. It's closed the rest of the year. We love to do that because it kind of creates a cohort of families that we're all in this together. We're around the world, but we're supporting each other through it. Yeah. So let's just get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your family.
So I am married to my husband, Javon, and we have 2 little girls, one who starts school, kindergarten, in 2 days, and 3-year-old. So 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay. And when did you take Discipline That Connects?
October 2019.
Great. Oh, wow. Cool. So it's fresh and that was your first time taking it?
Yeah. It was.
How did you hear about Connected Families?
I think I first heard about you through Heather McFadden, the Don't Mom Alone.
We love her.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And then I think I signed up for your email list, so I just kind of kept connected, kept hearing about Connected Families here and there.
Good. Yeah. So many people. That's our first interaction with them. We have weekly parenting tips that are, honestly, everybody, we spend a lot of time on those weekly parenting tips. We have a whole team of people and we take them so seriously. And I call it like our online parenting encyclopedia. That's what our website is, of all of those parenting tips, because we write them so often from the Q&A, the questions that people send us. So anyway, you might have experienced some of those, but they're practical and things you can use every day. So thanks for bringing that up. Tell me, what was going on in your family that you were like, I think I need to commit to doing this 8-session course?
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
I was drowning. I mean, yes, I was drowning. So what was happening is I had, at the time, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And they were fighting a lot. A lot. There were tantrums at that age. Honestly, a year later, there aren't as many now that I think about it. But there were so many tantrums. There was so much fighting. And not only fighting, but biting.
Sure, yeah.
And that was what scared me, because I was thinking, what's going to happen with my kid who is going to possibly go to school this fall? I can't have a kid going to school that fights other kids.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever I'm doing, what I was doing was not working. I was not fixing my kid. My kid was not listening.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So many parents come to us like, I have a problem to fix. I need to change my child's behavior.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So you'll be interested to know that the first thing, actually probably the most impactful thing that I learned is that I was angry. I had a problem.
Ooh, you just touched on a hot button, maybe. Say more about that.
So in the first module or your first foundation that you talk about, You Are Safe With Me, you talk about how parents need to take a look inside at themselves and what is going on in themselves before they try to correct the behavior, right? Or give some guidance. So I'm not a yeller. Growing up, I discovered that is not a very helpful way to interact in discipline. So I always promised myself I would not be a yeller. So I'm not angry, right? If I'm not yelling, I'm not angry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I discovered I was angry and it was coming through quite a bit in the just stop fighting your sister, that kind of
Oh, I see your face clenched and your teeth gritting and yeah.
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 And I didn't realize that until I took the course, that I was actually not being a safe parent. They actually were afraid, they were working their stuff out in the way that young kids do. And then I would come in and I was not being helpful. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And how did that land on you when you discovered that?
It was hard. It was hard at first. I want to be a good parent. I think all of us do.
Yeah.
We want to do well. And I think we just don't realize. Like we just don't know what we don't know. And so I'm so thankful that I did take the course. And I still need courses. I still need learning because I still don't know what I don't know, right?
Right. We all do forever. Yeah.
There's always room for growth. But that's how it landed. I became a lot more aware. And I still today think about that. Okay, deep breath or jumping jacks or take, a few strolls around my island.
Yeah.
Calm myself down before I try to calm my girls down.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time in the course on that. We call it the foundation of your relationship with your kids. Out of that foundation and asking the question that you just mentioned, what's going on in me? As we do that work, the work you just described of actually realizing I actually am angry. It's not coming out super duper loud, but it's still scary to my kids. And it is internally what's going on in me. As we do the work of recognizing that in ourselves, then we're able to communicate the message to our child, you are safe with me, because we can take the breath that you just talked about. And we talk a lot in the course about how to calm, and it's how to calm ourselves first. So I loved your ideas of jumping jacks and taking breaths, running around your island. That's a new one. Do you really run, Rebecca? Okay.
Well, I walk fast.
Do you have like a record number?
No, actually my girls don't really like when I do that because they know that when I do that, mom is feeling pretty angry. So they're like, Mom, stop.
Yeah. But it's so good, isn't it? Because we're modeling, I'm checking myself and I'm doing what I need for myself to calm down, which is super huge in all of life, like to model that so that they can start to learn what they need to calm down in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really good. That's the first level of the framework. There's 4 levels in the course that we teach. And so a couple sessions for each level. So we spent quite a bit of time right there with the "you are safe" message. So what happened with the biting?
Well, it gradually over time decreased. And that it's funny that you asked because actually for a while there was none. But now my youngest is picking it up.
Oh, so the older one was doing it, now the younger one is doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts around that?
I don't feel like I'm as fearful as I was last year. That fear that I had was rooted in what are other people going to think of me? So I want to be a good parent, but it was also more about me maybe than about them. I mean, because I did want to be a good parent, but I think a lot of times I tend to parent out of what will other people think, right? And so where I am now, I am not as worried about that. I still worry about it, but I'm not projecting onto her that if she bites her sister now, she will, bite other kids, right? And I have the experience, right? Last year I didn't have the experience either. That, sometimes this is a stage, and what are you trying to tell your sister? Like, can you use your words, right?
Yeah. So it sounds like you have more long-term perspective. You've gotten in control what's going on in me, which has totally decreased your anxiety, because anxiety in parents really causes us to parent out of that anxiety, which is kind of a fear-based parenting, which makes us control more, be angrier, feel very reactive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Basically in the course, we teach a lot about fight or flight. And in a sense for us parents, when we're parenting from that place, it is a place of fight or flight. And when that happens biologically, we don't have as much of our frontal lobe to be able to parent, first to connect in with God and say, what is your wisdom for this situation? And then just, to parent with wisdom, just plain wisdom.
Yes.
Okay, this is a stage, this is a moment. Like I'm going to figure out ways to coach my child to better ways of communicating besides with their teeth.
Yes. And another thing that I learned from Connected Families is my child is not my report card. So I was projecting that onto myself too, right? And she's not. Like you said, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And
I love that phrase. And that kind of comes in at the very top layer, the corrective layer, which communicates the message. You're responsible for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for your actions and to make right what you made wrong. Yeah. So when your younger one bites these days, what do you do?
Yeah, good question. So like yesterday, for example. Today's not a good example because I was busy with peaches. So
okay, you're canning peaches. Yum.
So what happened today was basically they both came and said, my sister bit me because apparently the younger one bit and then the older one bit back.
Okay.
They came and told us, and then they said, well, let's keep playing. I kind of felt like they took care of their problems. Like they kept playing and we're nice to each other.
Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah.
They're working out their relationship on their own and they're being responsible for how they treated each other.
Yeah. And so I don't feel as much like to make myself feel good that I have to go in and like tell them both, now you know that biting is wrong. I know that they know biting is wrong, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I'll keep, I'll keep tabs on it.
Yeah.
If it continues, we'll talk about it. But they did. They worked that out. Yesterday, when it happened, the younger one said, maybe I should sit on the chair for a couple minutes.
Wow. Rebecca, what this says to me is you've done a lot of groundwork to get from last year to now.
Okay, say more.
You've been able to parent in a way that they are taking responsibility for themselves.
Yeah.
They understand that. And so the motivation of their heart of how to behave, it's already there to behave well. That's like excellent.
Yeah, they're doing really well. The other thing that they do really well is it in Discipline That Connects that you teach the 4 kind and true things?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To make wrong. Is that the next level? So
that is you are responsible for your actions. So sometimes for small kids, right, if they say something mean, how do you make that right? Yeah. You can say 4 kind and true things to make that right. Yeah. Do you use that one?
Yes, we do. They've really latched on to that well. They like to say things like, you're a stinker or, things like that. And so, the first thing that they get to say, they can think about it. They don't have to say it right away. Yeah. Especially my younger one. They're both very creative, but my younger one does really good at being witty.
Ooh.
So she can think of things to say that would be witty, but maybe not quite as kind.
Yeah.
And so she'll really struggle when I ask her to say 4 kind and true things. So, but the first thing she can say is, you are not a stinker.
Nice. Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing she can say. And then, and then she's learning how to say, like, I like your beautiful bouquets that you make. And I like when you play dolls with me. And
aw. Yeah. Sweet. That all sounds so sweet. In Discipline That Connects too, and just in all the stuff that we teach at Connected Families, we talk about, right, connecting in relationships. And we like to use the picture of when we do a hand clasp. So we hold our hands together, and that's a close connected relationship. And sometimes the impact of our actions is we break relationship, which bring your hands apart, right? They're not together anymore. And so what does it take to bring your hands back together and to be connected again? What does that reconciliation look like?
That's a beautiful picture.
Isn't that a beautiful picture? And I love that because, a lot of parents, they come to us wanting to fix the behavior or just say you're sorry or all that stuff, right? But we've all done it. For sure, we've all done it. But when the corrective portion of it is make right what you've made wrong. Mm-hmm. If what you've made wrong is that you've hurt someone and that relationship is broken apart, we don't need necessarily a strong punishment. We need actions towards bringing the relationship together and fixing what was made wrong. And so that's what I love from the stories that you've said today is that, they didn't need a whatever, sit in a timeout or this or that. They were innately learning to make right with their sibling what had happened that was wrong. So I love that, Rebecca.
Yeah, they're very sweet little girls. And they're, they're learning just like I am.
We're all on this journey. Yeah. What would you say are the biggest differences after the course? Let's say that.
Yeah, good question. So I just think less anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think me being able to listen to more spirit-led parenting, being able to calm myself enough to listen to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Where before it was all like, just stop, right?
Enough with this behavior. Yes. Yeah.
So the biggest change is being able to calm myself and less anxiety and more joy.
More joy
In parenting.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a long-term investment.
We're in this for a long time. Yeah. Tell me more about joy. How are you experiencing joy?
Well, I think I can experience joy because I'm not so afraid that I'm completely messing them up. And so when I'm living out of that fear, there's not a whole lot of joy. But joy comes when, it's like, we're in this together, us and God. That was another thing. I really like the reframing of the lie during discipline in the Discipline That Connects course. You talk about taking the lie that is in our minds.
Yep.
And mine was, it was not very kind one. I mean, it was very unkind actually. And reframing it from, I have the most annoying kids to my girls have a lot of needs. And I have a lot of needs, but you know what? God can take care of us.
Oh, I love that so much. That's a huge piece in a lot of what we do. And actually, I'm going to give a plug right now because we just released a new online course. It's called Grace and Truth for Moms, where Lynn goes way even deeper into all of those half-truths. They're really like half lies, half truths, right? There's a little shred of truth in it and mostly a lot of lie that we believe. And we have them about ourselves as parents and we have them about our children. And we need to identify them and replace them with grace-filled truth. So I love that. Yours was, my kids are annoying. Is that what you said?
That was the lie, yeah.
That was the lie, yeah. Mine was, I'm going to ruin them. I'm going to ruin them so bad, we're going to not have any relationship. It's going to be completely broken when they get to be adults. And I had to just, you even think of those and they just make you almost wither inside, don't they?
It feels heavy.
So heavy in such a terrible place, but so healthy to identify them and then do the work of, no, what is the grace-filled truth that God wants to replace that with? And it's beautiful. Like it lifts, doesn't it? Like,
yes.
What did you say yours was?
The truth was my girls have a lot of needs.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of needs, but God will take care of us.
Love it. Mine was God brought our family together. My oldest is adopted. My second is biological. My husband's from another country too. Like, this is how God formed our family. And so he knew that we all have what we need for each other. Like he put the combo together. And so he was going to help us through everything that we faced and bring us
That
through.
is beautiful.
Isn't it? Those grace-filled truths carry us, and we write them down in the workbook that comes with the course. And I wrote them on my mirror in my bedroom, in my bathroom. So give some advice to parents. Tell them, how did you find all of the technology, like all of that stuff, the online course just functioning for you?
It functioned really well. At first, I thought I had to do it on my laptop, which I'm on now, but I later discovered that Zoom is also on iPhones. You can download the app. So I did that, and I was able to comment from both my laptop and my phone. I found it very workable.
Yeah, good. Would you recommend the course for other families?
Absolutely. It's only $120.
And I would say that if that's a lot, we have almost no questions asked scholarships. So we're really generous with that.
And maybe you can sell some stuff in your closet and make it if you want to do it that way.
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so I went and worked a shift at the restaurant to make the money, right?
Yeah.
Or, have a garage sale, or I'm learning about side note, I'm learning about how to take some of the apps and sell stuff online.
Nice.
So sell stuff in my closet and,
Yeah.
a little for cash for courses that I want.
Awesome. Awesome. What do you think would be the top 2 or 3 things that parents will get out of the course?
So the first thing they'll get is what they want, which is a more connected relationship with their child. The second thing that they'll get is a better relationship with God because they will trust him more.
Mm-hmm.
So parents, do the work. Don't just buy the course or get a scholarship and not do it. Do the course.
Yeah.
Because your life won't change unless you do a little bit of work.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? We put in effort to get a big reward.
Yeah.
Rebecca, thanks so much for being with me today and letting me interview you about your experience with the Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart course. Man, I would love to meet your 2 little beautiful girls at some point.
Maybe you will someday. My
Maybe.
husband has family in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Good. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, it has been a joy.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. 2 times a year, we open up our foundational online course called Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart. And we are at that time of the year right now. Registration for the course is open. Thousands of families have gone through the course and experienced practical tools that bring lasting change. If you are interested in getting more information about the Discipline That Connects with Your Child's Heart online course, go to connectedfamilies.org.